The purpose of this show is to guide you to realign with habits that get you to live the life you've always dreamed of. This is the Habit-Based Lifestyle Podcast with Jesse Ewell. This is the Habit-Based Lifestyle, where you can access your full potential right now. Finally break free from destructive habits. That dream life, if you want it, you can have it. This is where you transform your health, mind, business, and relationships. Or do nothing and keep your life the way it is. But if you're ready for change, you're in the right place. This is where you're gonna learn how to live a habit-based lifestyle. You are tuning in to the Habit-Based Lifestyle Podcast with your host, Jesse Ewell. This is the Habit-Based Lifestyle. Let's go.
Welcome back to the Habit-Based Lifestyle Podcast. I'm your host, Jesse Ewell, and today we're going to be talking about being capable. See, the other day, a post came up from 4 years ago, and it came up on my Facebook, and it was specifically about a program that I had went through with 18 other men. Half of them were guys that I had known through a program called Wake Up Warrior, where we went through this thing called Kokoro. But one of the lessons that I wanted to share with you, and one of the things that came up, was this idea of being capable. And I want you to understand today, as we get into this episode, what being capable or what capability actually means, and that we all have this capability inside of us. See, we are far more capable than we think that we are. We are more accomplished. We are more productive. We are more successful, more powerful, and we have more potential than we actually give ourselves credit for. But if you're listening to this episode and maybe you haven't been able to access this, potential, maybe you haven't been able to access this capability in your life, maybe you haven't even given yourself permission to push yourself to a certain place to actually find it. But one of the things that I learned going through this, Navy SEAL training, this thing called Kokoro, and they also had a program called 20X, but they taught this valuable lesson, and it was called the 20X factor. And the 20X factor simply means that you are capable of accelerating your daily achievement by 20 times more than your current paradigm. And if it allows you to achieve something at 20x what your current paradigm is, that means that we have a capability of where we are today and 20 times that. So just imagine what results you have gotten today, and imagine if you could 20x those results. That is a paradigm shift that we must realize, that we are more capable than we've ever given ourselves credit for. We have more potential inside of us than we have actually given ourselves credit for. But then there's this other side. See, for most people, the minute life gets hard and uncomfortable, most people want to let up. Most people want to quit. We want to let up on our body. The minute exercise gets uncomfortable, the minute we start sweating, the minute that anything starts to get us out of breath, and we want to let up on our nutrition, the minute, we can't have a cookie, the minute we can't have a dessert, the minute that we can't eat something that we are craving in that immediate place. We want to let up in business the minute our marketing doesn't work. I could think of so many times where, I hear from business owners like, hey, I put X amount of dollars into my marketing and it didn't work. I put X amount of dollars into my, into a coach and it didn't work. We want to let up in our marriage the minute our spouse doesn't agree with us. The minute our relationship gets hard, we want to let up in our marriage. We want to not show up as the best version of ourselves. You want to let up in your relationship with God the minute he doesn't answer your prayers. And I could think of so many people that walk around with this, that they want to let up because they don't immediately see the result. They don't immediately see the satisfaction. See, what I really believe in today more than ever is we live in a society where we give up too easily. We give up too easily on the things that we truly, really want. And quitting is an easier option than actually doing the work. But quitting only does one thing. Quitting makes it easier every single time. Quitting makes it easier just to walk away. Quitting makes it easier. And I want you to realize this. Quitting there's a muscle that you activate inside of quitting. There is a muscle that you actually activate inside of quitting, and the more you do it, the easier it gets. There's that old analogy of use it or lose it. Well, guess what? Quitting is an exercise. Quitting is an exercise, and the more you use it, the more that you lose the resistance to quitting. There's no problem with the thoughts of wanting to quit. There's no problem with, having it cross your mind. The problem is when you actually take action on it and you begin to build the muscle up of quitting. I really believe the reason we quit at things is because we resist the work. We resist the growth. We resist our true potential. We resist our capability. And we stop and contract back to our old safe self. You see, no matter how good or bad your past is, it is always more comfortable to contract back to an old version of ourselves. And if we're not careful, if I'm not careful, this can end up being a pattern in my life. And 4 years ago, the whole reason why, I did this challenge, at 38 years old was to really face that capability head on, to really face that challenge head on. Sure, I had accomplished things in my life, but this was a true physical and mental test. And, here's the thing is I can do a physical challenge all day long, but when you add the mental and emotional place in there, that makes that challenge 20 times harder. And life is a lot like that. See, life is going to give us a physical challenge. Life is going to challenge us mentally and emotionally, spiritually, relationally. And if I haven't built up that resistance to quitting, if I haven't built up that resistance, to wanting to go back to the safe place, then it's a natural place for me to go. If I don't learn to challenge myself in those areas, I'm going to shrink back down to a version of myself. See, it's no sleep for 50, 60 hours, not to mention no sleep the night before. What you're doing is actually callousing the quit. You're resisting the quit. You're training yourself to have breakthrough. You're training yourself in like they say, callousing your mind to know that, hey, my mind is going to lie to me. My mind's going to tell me I'm tired. My mind's going to tell me to quit. My mind's going to tell me all of these things, but I'm not going to listen to it. What's cool about this is, we have reminders in our life, and I think they come in at the perfect time. Facebook definitely got this reminder right on my memories, but how many of you have seen growth in one area of life only to slowly go back to your old patterns? I think of people who lose weight, for a period of time, and then they go back to their old ways. People who, maybe had a breakthrough in their relationship, and then 3 months later they go back to their old ways. People who had a business that they crushed it in for a year, a couple years, and then they just go back to their old ways. See, not everyone is going to get to their potential. Not everyone is going to access their capability. Not everyone's going to make it in the challenges that you go through. But those who typically do come prepared. Those who typically do are ready for the resistance. Those that typically do learn to break through. See, the one thing that I learned in all my years of training is that word capable. We are all capable. It's already inside of us. The problem is you have to actually go find it, and you have to actually find it not by chance, but by challenging your own comfort zone, by challenging your own capability, because capability is like a muscle. You either use it or you lose it. And what I've truly discovered was most people don't put themselves in uncomfortable situations to where that they actually find what they're capable of. And so they live this whole life of feeling like they have all this capability, feeling like they have all this potential, but they continue to not live up to it because pushing yourself to the edge to where you want to quit is uncomfortable. Pushing yourself to the edge is making a choice to push through to the other side. So what are you holding back in your capability today? See, capability is a journey to tap into the true potential, the true capability we have to shed the old self and discover a part of ourself that had been locked away. See, we can be physically challenged, but the true challenges come when the physical part has been broken down, and then it happens to be mentally and emotionally. Very few people have done this program. Very few people have challenged their capability in such a way that they have this breakthrough. But the true battle is going to be in the mind. And it's already won if you are willing to show up day after day and do the work, even when you don't feel like it. But here's what I know is when you train for the worst, you can show up as the best version of yourself. And there's a whole new world and a whole new person and a whole new capability on the other side. And I want to thank you guys for being on here today. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to reach out to me, Jesse at habitbasedlifestyle.com. Until next episode, have a great day.
The purpose of this show is to guide you to realign with habits that get you to live the life you've always dreamed of. This is the Habit-Based Lifestyle Podcast with Jesse